Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Friday, May 14, 2021. CNN report. Neera Tanden joins White House as a senior advisor after withdrawing cabinet nomination. Neera Tanden, the new administration's only cabinet nominee rebuffed by the Senate, has become a senior advisor to President Joe Biden, a White House official told CNN. A longtime health policy expert, Tanden will begin planning for potential policy changes that could result from the forthcoming Supreme Court decision on Republican legal efforts to strike down the Affordable Care Act. She worked in former President Barack Obama's administration as the act was designed and implemented.
BBC report. Afghanistan war. Kabul mosque blast shatters calm for Eid. The blast in Shakardara district came on the second day of a three-day Taliban and army ceasefire to mark the Eid festival at the end of Ramadan. No one has said they were behind the bombing, which also wounded at least 15. The Taliban denied involvement. On Thursday, blasts in Kandahar and Kunduz provinces killed 9 people. Friday's bomb blast was the most major of the violent incidents that have marred the ceasefire.
Deutsche Welle report. Russia freezes bank accounts of U.S. broadcaster RFE, RL. Russia sent bailiffs to the Moscow bureau of U.S.-funded Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, RFE, RL, on Friday over unpaid fines. RFE, RL said the move was an escalation in the Russian government's campaign to push them out of the country. RFE, RL will continue to fight these desperate attempts by the Kremlin to censor uncomfortable truths, said RFE, RL President Jamie Fly in a statement. U.S. State Department spokeswoman Jelena Porter told reporters Washington was deeply troubled at the move.
BBC report. Israel-Gaza violence. Clashes spread to West Bank. At least 10 Palestinians are reported to have died in the West Bank unrest, while hundreds have been injured. Israeli forces used tear gas, rubber bullets and live fire, as Palestinians threw petrol bombs. At least 122 people have also been killed in Gaza and 8 have died in Israel since fighting began on Monday. Many towns and cities in the occupied West Bank were convulsed by angry protests on Friday, marking a widening of the conflict which has led to continued international calls for calm.
BBC report. Inmates use British red phone boxes in Russian jail. The Russian prison service Gufsin has posted photos of red British phone boxes and a mural of Big Ben, all the creations of Siberian prisoners. The phone boxes are real, so that inmates can stay in touch with friends and relatives, Gufsin said. Russian-UK relations are distinctly chilly, but London's allure goes far. The inmates of Penal Colony No. 8 in Novosibirsk region even upgraded the old-fashioned British phone boxes by installing phones with video links.
Deutsche Welle report. Armenia accuses Azerbaijan of failing to withdraw from its territory. Armenia said on Friday that Azerbaijan had failed to withdraw troops that had crossed the border in a disputed incident. 6 months after the worst fighting in decades between Azeri and ethnic Armenian forces, the border incident this week has demonstrated the fragility of a Russian-brokered ceasefire that halted the conflict. Armenia has accused Azerbaijan of sending troops across the frontier. Azerbaijan has denied this and said its forces only defended their side of the frontier.
CNN report. As the U.S. leaves Afghanistan, it must fulfill its obligation to interpreters. James R. Clapper, Jr. is a retired U.S. Air Force lieutenant general and the former director of national intelligence. Keith P. Sadler is a former U.S. Army infantry officer, and currently the vice chairman on the board of directors of No One Left Behind. The opinions expressed in this commentary are their own. View more opinion at CNN. Among those in the second category, we can unfortunately count life-threatening jeopardy to a group of Afghans who hitched themselves literally and spiritually to the United States.
Fox report. China vows countermeasures against U.S. journalists as diplomatic dispute escalates. China is threatening to further retaliate against American journalists overseas following claims that the U.S. has expelled dozens of Chinese media personnel and denied visas to others. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying issued the fresh warning to the Biden administration Friday after diplomats from both countries had agreed in March to start holding talks over the dispute, according to Bloomberg.
Fox report. crime experts fear summer 2021 violence could be worse than last year's shooting. Murder uptick starts early. Police should brace for a potentially more violent summer than last year as crime trends show the bloodshed in some parts of the country, such as New York City, picked up earlier than is typically expected, analysts and experts tell Fox News. It's not getting any better, Joseph Giacalone, an adjunct professor with the John Jay College of Criminal Justice, told Fox News. Let's put it this way, New York City is already ahead of last year's pace, but last year, the homicides and shootings really started spiking at the end of May and into June. So that will be the real tale of the tape, so to speak, to see what's happening over there.
Deutsche Welle report. Germany classifies UK coronavirus risk region. German health officials on Friday slapped Britain back on the list of coronavirus risk areas, amid fears over the spread of the Indian COVID-19 variant there. The move comes despite the UK South vaccination drive that has seen its citizens taken off travel red lists across the world. According to the Robert Koch Institute for Infectious Diseases, the classification was made despite a 7-day incidence of less than 50 new cases per 100,000 inhabitants in the UK.
CNN report. A rapidly developing tropical cyclone poses a significant threat to northwest India and Pakistan. A developing tropical cyclone over the Arabian Sea is forecast to strengthen significantly into named Cyclone Tauktae over the weekend and pose a potentially catastrophic threat to portions of India and Pakistan next week. This storm will be the first named tropical cyclone of the year in the region. A natural disaster like this couldn't have come at a worse time, as India is currently the global epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic.
CNN report. Columbus, Ohio, agrees to pay $10 million settlement to family of Andre Hill. The city of Columbus, Ohio, has agreed to pay a record $10 million settlement to the family Andre Hill, a black man who was shot and killed by a police officer. The settlement, the highest amount the city has ever agreed to pay, will be voted on by the city council on Monday. City Attorney Zach Klein said in a statement announcing the settlement. We understand that because of this former officer's actions, the Hill family will never be whole, Klein said.
Al Jazeera report. Facebook faces devastating EU to US data transfer ban. Ireland's data regulator can resume a probe that may trigger a ban on Facebook's transatlantic data transfers, the High Court ruled on Friday, raising the prospect of a stoppage that the company warns would have a devastating impact on its business. The case stems from European Union concerns that United States government surveillance may not respect the privacy rights of EU citizens when their personal data is sent to the US for commercial use.
Fox report. When is Memorial Day weekend 2021? Memorial Day weekend 2021 kicks off May 29 and Americans are already making plans. This year, Memorial Day, which honors the men and women who lost their lives while serving in the U.S. military, is officially observed on Monday, May 31. In 1968, Congress passed the Uniform Monday Holiday Act to officially establish Memorial Day as the last Monday in May. This effectively created a 3-day weekend for federal employees, although the change didn't take effect until 1971.
Al Jazeera report. Arizona audit of 2020 votes has QAnon problem. Report. Arizona's audit of the ballots cast in the 2020 presidential election could have a QAnon problem, according to watchdog organization Media Matters. The state's Republican-controlled Senate ordered the review of Maricopa County's roughly 2.1 million ballots in April, following months of unfounded claims of voter fraud made by former President Donald Trump, his supporters and fringe groups that they say cost him the election.
Al Jazeera report. Tesla in deadly California crash was on autopilot. Authorities. A Tesla involved in a fatal crash on a Southern California freeway in the United States last week was operating on autopilot at the time, authorities said. The May 5 crash in Fontana, a city 80 kilometers, 50 miles, east of Los Angeles, is under investigation by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA. The probe is the 29th case involving a Tesla that the agency has responded to. A 35-year-old man was killed when his Tesla Model 3 struck an overturned semi-truck on a freeway at about 2:30 a.m. local time, 09:30 GMT.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell. you.